Hey guys, so we just did some other updates and I thought that I am almost done with my first trimester, and I said I was going to do, since I didn't do the weekly vlogs the way I normally do when I'm pregnant, I thought it would be nice to go through kind of a first trimester overview. I'll probably be looking down a lot because I have it all written down in my OneNote. And we do have some updates along the way where I talk about some of this too. But a lot of those updates involved us being with the fears we had that we might lose the baby and some of the medical stuff. And so now that some of that is gone, I can actually kind of get into the way I was feeling and all of that stuff. So early on, the only symptom I had early, I had no idea I was pregnant. Absolutely no idea at all. No inclination, no feeling, nothing. The only thing that happened early on, where in hindsight I was like, oh, was my bras felt tighter all of a sudden, and I was like, oh, I guess I just like have extra Christmas weight on, even though I hadn't really gained weight. I just thought maybe that was why, but I do remember at least twice being like, my bra feels tighter, and that's the only early symptom I had. And then weeks around 5 to 7, I was constantly nauseous and I would even throw up. It was not fun. If you go back and watch Day in the Life videos, I was tired, I was sick, I didn't feel good. That lasted for 4 or 5 weeks. It was not fun, and because we hadn't shared yet, I couldn't even tell anybody, and so it made it hard to do those videos because I just was like not feeling very good. I was also, in that 5 to 7 week mark, I was just totally exhausted. I was exhausted in a way that I was just like, what is this? I mean, I could hardly function sometimes. I felt so tired and so like heavy, like I just could. And like towards the afternoon, I would just crash. Like I remember one day I was doing a bunch of laundry and I stood up and I was like, I can't even make it downstairs. And I just laid on Grayson's bed and just laid there. And I was just like, I'm so tired. I was just so tired. I was having issues with my iron where it was low. That can be normal when you're pregnant. It happens to me when I'm not pregnant. It's not really a big deal. But because even with some iron supplements, my iron levels weren't really going up. So that made the tiredness worse. And fatigue when you're pregnant is normal right from the start. It's one of the earlier signs of pregnancy. So being tired is normal, but then you add into it having low iron and it just makes it worse. The other issue I was having was definitely some depression. This, I did talk a little bit with one doctor about it who encouraged me to go and talk to someone else about it. He's actually the one who said it. I had not really said the word depression to myself in my head, and he said, I think you're depressed. Like he just straight up told me that. I think it was a combination of like the pregnancy hormones and everything, and also just the fact that I was, I had a lot of feelings going on where, you know, this pregnancy was not planned, it was unexpected, it was a surprise. We had a lot of plans for this year, including a house and things like that. People mistakenly thought the house hunting had to do with the baby. I don't know why, I guess the timing. It didn't. The baby's actually kind of changed our house plans a little bit, and so all these things we had set forth, I just felt like everything had changed. It was really heavy emotionally. And then in addition to that, I'm having these feelings of like being so nervous about the pregnancy, and then we go in and there's problems with the pregnancy, so then I have guilt because you know, I'm worried about the baby, and then I just feel guilty because I'm like, you know, you can't help but think like, you know, did somehow this happen because I'm not as enthusiastic? And then I got really worried, and then it was just like, it was just like up and down, where I was really wanted to be excited about the baby and the pregnancy, but I just couldn't because I was so worried it wasn't gonna stick. It was just a roller coaster. And so definitely was having, you know, then when you're pregnant, you got all the hormones, so it made it worse. So definitely dealing with some depression, and that lingered for a while. I finally feel like I'm kind of coming out of that, so that's good, you know. If I continue though to have feelings like just depressed feelings or whatever, I will go and talk to somebody. I think as I've gotten older, I realized you can't just keep that all bottled up, or, you know, you have to go and deal with it. And so, but for right now, I feel I'm a lot happier, I'm a lot better place. And so yeah, so that was something that happened early on. And I have a lot for week 8 for some reason. I guess a lot was going on for week 8. During week 8, I wrote that I wanted ice cold milk. I did that with Grayson. I don't drink milk. Like I'm not a milk drinker, so that's a very weird one for me. And it had to be like really cold, like icy cold. That only lasted though for like 5 days. I haven't wanted any since, but that happened. And then the other thing that was really big, I wrote this for week 8, but this actually happened for pretty much almost all the first trimester, which is where nothing sounded good. Like nothing sounded good. Things would randomly sound good. Like I would be like, oh, you know what? I think I want a burrito or whatever it was. And it would sound good randomly, but I would get it and eat it and I was just like, it didn't taste good. So that almost made me more depressed because like nothing like hit the spot. And I would be sick every time I would eat. So it was like, ugh. I definitely I was having aversion to meat, which, and I was also low on iron, so all of that was probably not good. But yeah, like I couldn't stand the smell of meat cooking. I couldn't cook the meat for dinners. Like I'd try and I would just be like, ugh. So I ate a lot of fruit. I was eating a lot of fruit, things like that. But even it didn't really taste good. It was like, it was rough. It was one of my more rough pregnancy first trimesters. And then I had just overall queasiness like all the time. It was just like during week 8. But after, like during week 8, at some point, that 24 hours of just feeling sick, like pretty much nonstop, it started to ebb a bit. I still felt queasy and kind of sick a lot, but it finally started to get a little bit better. I would feel the best in the mornings, and then by about late afternoon, middle to late afternoon and evenings, I would feel really bad again. I think the tiredness didn't help. I would get really tired, but I'd feel better in the morning. So that was a step in the right direction. I was having trouble sleeping. I wake up during the night a lot and couldn't go back to sleep. That happened during the first few weeks too. Part of that I think had to do with my anxiety about everything. Part of it was probably the hormones. I was still feeling down, still feeling like depressed, but not as bad as the early weeks. I was still really exhausted. And then I also felt like I was in this really horrible cycle where I really wanted to go and work out because I'm very uncomfortable about the weight I'm at during this pregnancy, but I wasn't allowed to work out because of the hemorrhage, because it had been growing, so I wasn't supposed to work out. But I would feel so lethargic, and I knew that if I could work out, that would help with my energy levels, but I couldn't work out, and it just felt like this cycle. So I think that also contributed to that depressed feeling I was having. Super emotional, like I remember tearing up at like the Super Bowl halftime show with Lady Gaga. Like I teared up during it for some reason. It was really hard to keep up with the vlogs. Like it was like harder and harder for me to hide it. And then I also didn't want to hide it from my day in the life vlog people. Like I kind of wanted them to know, because like those are my people. They're the ones who kind of stick around and have been with us the longest. And then horrible bloating. Like the bloating was, that's a normal thing in your first trimester. Very normal. It's like the pregnancy bloat, the bloat belly, like people have different names for it. It is for real. Like a lot of people, the bloating, it's because your digestive system isn't working as well when you're pregnant. So one of the results is bloating like you cannot believe. So I would eat something and it didn't matter what it was. It wasn't just like, it could be anything. It could be a piece of lettuce or like a taco. Like it didn't matter what I ate. I would bloat up and look 6 months pregnant, and then it would go away, and then it was just like and it was so uncomfortable. Just like the bloating was awful. It was like not fun, y'all. Like not fun at all. Pregnancy bloat is like one of my least favorite things, but luckily as your digestive system kind of gets used to it, that at least for me seems to get better. It's already better now that I'm almost out of the first trimester. I'm not bloating quite as bad. I still bloat more than I do normally, but not like I was early on. Like, ooh, that was something else. Moving on to weeks 9 through 10, I was still tired, but not as totally tired. Like the complete fatigue was definitely fading. I still felt tired, still got tired, but just not as bad, which was really nice. The nausea faded so much during this time. My nausea started to really dissipate, and I was just very grateful. Smells were still bothering me then. Didn't like the smells of meat and things like that. It didn't necessarily make me want to go throw up, but I didn't like it. I was still bloating weeks 9 through 10. So much bloat, that was still happening. Right around week 10, I started to pop a little, started to show a little. And I started feeling a lot happier during this time, so yay. And then weeks 11 through almost 14, we finally have told everyone. I had so much anxiety about that, y'all. everyone was so happy and so supportive. Both my mom and Kyle's mom were just really excited, and you know, my friends were so supportive, and which was like really nice because like I kind of needed that, you know, and so that was all good. So I feel so much better having told everyone, and I feel so much better. I still will randomly feel like a little hint of queasiness, but it's mostly gone. Pretty much, you know, it's like great. I'm back to feeling almost normal, which is really nice. I get a little more tired in the evening, and like I already mentioned, I was starting to show, and it wasn't just the bloating, because before when I would be bloated, I would look pregnant, but then the bloat would go away and I wouldn't. But now it's like I just have this little bump kind of, and it's my 4th pregnancy, and I'm already overweight, and so I think it just like it's there, you know what I mean, like I just can't hide it. But it is fun. I actually went and read like an entire message board about people in their 4th pregnancies to make me feel better about showing. But so many people started showing so early, like way earlier than even I did, and it was really nice. I felt a lot of like, that felt really supportive for me to read that. And then the other thing is, the last few weeks of the end of the 1st trimester, I've still been super emotional, but it's like happy emotional. Like, I mean, sad emotional will happen too, but mostly I just like get, like, it's happiness. Like I just get overwhelmingly happy and like a teary-eyed because I'm just so happy. It's like the happy emotion. I think that catches you guys up, and then I'm gonna start the normal pregnancy vlogs probably about week 15, I think, right going into the 2nd trimester. Thank you guys so much for your support and your comments. I've had so much really good advice and information about people who have had 4 kids. I'm still really anxious about that. I have known for a long time that I was done with 3. I was very open about that. When people would ask, I'd be like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm happy with the 3. My 3rd, my little one, she was a lot of work, a lot more work than my other 2, and it just kind of tired me out, and it made me feel like done. And so it has been a challenge to come around to this, but I'm very excited about this little baby. I'm still anxious about having 4. I'm still a little stressed about the thought of all the house stuff now getting changed because of the baby and all of that. But all that being said, I just don't feel, while I still feel some stress about it and some like maybe just, I'm just anticipating that it might be a little crazy, I still have those emotions and feelings at the same time. I feel really okay about it all. I just feel like it's all gonna work out the way it's supposed to. It's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be a walk in the park, but when is anything ever a walk in the park? And it's just gonna be fine, and this is just the way it was meant to be, you know? And Kyle's been really supportive. He's always been open to the idea of a 4th. He had finally, during the fall, had started to come around and be like, you know, I think we are done with 3. So he was still shocked about this, but I think it was a little bit easier for him to stomach. There we go, that's it. I think I just wanted to make sure, like I was already saying, to thank you guys so much. Your support has meant a lot to me, and I think that y'all and some of your positivity and your excitement has really been a help to me and my heart to find the joy in this and to be excited. And like I said, I kind of have found the joy in the baby a while back, especially once I knew the baby was here and we weren't gonna lose it, and I could let go of that fear. But I still have just some of that anxiety about the situation in general, but even that is fading. And I think, again, I think some of that has to just do with like the positivity that you guys have been dishing out. You may feel like it's a small thing to just leave a kind comment to someone on a vlog, but you might not realize the impact it has on that person. So I just wanted to tell you firsthand that it does have an impact, and that it really is a positive thing in my life and our lives and everyone. So as usual, thank you so much for watching. The normal pregnancy vlogs are gonna start. We will get back to doing the day in the lives. I know some of you guys have missed them. And I just wanted to catch everyone up, and I didn't want to have a bunch of in-between things. So wanted to kind of be like, let's catch up. But now we'll start moving forward, and I have no idea what the future holds exactly. I mean, I have an idea of what I want it to hold, but I don't know exactly what it is gonna hold. So there we go. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I'll talk to everyone in the next update. Bye.